What's good? What's good? It's Wednesday Night Live. I'm Kevin Howell, the One Eye Scout, and my main man, sidekick, Mr. Philip Townsend.
All right now.
We're talking real hoops tonight, real work, real outcomes. Hey, Phil, we had a parent recruiting workshop tonight. We're gonna talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
And
because I was
man,
going to ask you about that.
you know what? I'm glad we decided to do it, man, because that if one family has the questions, then they all got them. And
Right.
we were able to answer answer some things and put some things in place. And the biggest thing was, for tonight was getting those highlights in order. And I'm glad that people have been checking out the 1 Eye Minute. They've been checking out the different segments because we've been talking about defense first. And I'm starting to see that in the highlights. So that's good to see.
Yeah. But Kev, how did this come about? Who put it together?
Well, some parents were asking, I don't want to, just parents are asking about different questions, and it just kept being the same questions
Yeah.
uh, over and over, and you know, people want to know, like, what do recruiting services actually do, and I couldn't really respond to it because I don't know. It um, kind of cloak and dagger kind of, it's all secretive, and we've been running the same formula for about 15 years now. um, and it's getting the right names in front of different people. It's getting the right highlights. It's getting the right game film. It's it's a recipe. But like we said, man, you can mess up a recipe with putting too much ingredients of one thing and not enough
Oh,
of
yeah.
the other. But
I'm not coming to your house to eat.
but no, man, and we walk parents through it. You know, we started out with about 3 or 4 tools, and then we had some email scripts, some DM scripts, and then uh, really kind of put pen to paper, and parents walked out feeling like they had a solid understanding what the next steps were.
Yeah. Well, Kev, I don't know if you want to go to something else, but I wanted to just kind of ask you, kind of like what was some of the stuff? Were you the only disseminator of the info there tonight, or?
Well, we did it small group style.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of like, I presented uh, this tool, and then we kind of walked through what it looked like for this player and what it looked like for this family, and
Uh-huh.
so everybody kind of got the chance to take their notes, and I've been in education for 18 years, so kind of old hat, and just making sure everybody got the pieces that they needed. And then you know the only thing I wished I would have done, I wished I would have recorded it, um, and
Ah, yeah.
maybe that's something we do in the future. um, but we'll have to wait and see, because I definitely like the way it turned out. um, if we get a group of parents that reach out and want to do another one, man, I'm down for it. You know, um, because
Well,
it's low cost. You know,
yeah.
uh,
Well, kind of ask is just kind of like some of the questions or something maybe that you all targeted.
well, you know, um, some of the questions were, how do I choose the right level for my son? You know, where do I start? And I've told him, for me, um, I've always started at the junior college,
Right.
NAIA, Division 3 levels, um, just to kind of get some traction, and you're gonna get recruited at the level that you belong,
Right.
and wherever you get recruited, that's your level, whether you like it or not. You know, and we talked about, uh, I'm a junior college person. My wife is. All of our kids have been, taking advantage of those freshman and sophomore level courses before they start piling up bills. That
Right.
being one. Um, the other being, if you really want to go Division 1 and you don't have the opportunity right now, you're probably going to be in a junior college in a Division 3, Division 2 situation, NAIA situation where you're going to have to work your way up.
Yeah.
We also talked about those really high academic athletes, that you can go, say, to a Trinity, right,
Right.
and work for 2 years and have the opportunity to portal up. Or, you know what? Not many of us, if at all, are ever going to see the NBA on the basketball court or overseas. But every damn one of us going to have a job, you know. So you kind of prepare yourself with the plans of your family, of yourself, because as I told the parents tonight, I'm not here to drive you at any school. I'm here to try to provide you as many opportunities as possible. Um, and that's been um, my calling card for many years.
Yeah. Well, Kev, since this was about parents, right? And
Hmm.
you just mentioned about your level, right?
Hmm.
Um, hey, if you're the coaches are calling, right? But
Hmm.
if you're kind of in this quandary on your level, and you start reaching out, calling coaches, but they're not picking up the phone. Besides that possible talent void that you may not be seeing, what
Hmm.
might be an issue there? The reason the coach isn't picking up the phone.
Well, I think that it goes back to, is your plan messy? You know, because guys will try to go out and so uh, they'll go out and do the best that they know how, but their messages are all over the place. They're they're sending shots in the dark. They're really a Division 3 player, and they're trying to
Right.
send a letter to Roy Williams. You know, um, but it's a lot of that, man, and academics. You know, academics gonna shut you
Right.
down quicker than anything. You
Yeah.
know, and as that pool of scholarships
Yeah.
shrinks
Right.
because of the portal and all these things. I mean, just look at it. Just yesterday, I found out that Coastal Bend College is cutting
Would
their.
would like that coach?
We like the coach, but they closing the doors on athletics. You know, yeah, yeah,
Woo!
yeah,
So
and
that means
so
some guys that we know are going to be
yeah,
looking somewhere
yeah.
else.
So they got to get their releases, and then we can start finding them looking for places. But yeah, so. Uh, but I hope, and I know Coach Martino's end up on his feet somewhere. I really like him, though. He was
Yeah.
always good to us.
Yeah, Kevin. Well, let me just bug you about one more thing, since we're talking about communication flow, right?
Hmm.
Um, Besides the potential to get your feelings hurt, what should a parent know before they're gonna DM a coach?
I think they should have a realistic expectation of if their son can play there or not.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're just wasting time. And a waste of time just puts you further behind. Because let's face it, it's a marathon, and you gotta have time to put your marathon shoes on.
Yeah.
And but no, I would, when you're looking at fit, is academics right? Is it even somewhere that you would want to go to?
Right.
Because one of the things that I say is find a particular region that you want to play in and email or DM the coaches that you're willing to play at that level. Because, I remember when my son was going through it, um, he decided early on, like, he knew what level he wanted to play at. And if he couldn't play at that level, he was happy to be a college student. And if you don't have that love or that fight inside of you, can't nobody put that inside of you. And so I think that's the biggest thing, man, is just to have a humble spirit and take all the feedback you can get, because that's one thing that I learned early on is that you just want feedback, no matter if it's good, if it's negative. You want the feedback so you can adjust your plan. It's the people that never put themselves out there to get any feedback. They don't know how to adjust their plan, and they're still just
Right.
shooting in the dark.
Yeah, but Kev, getting back to that point about academics, we talked about it in other shows and trying to stress the importance of it. And it just dawned on me. I have a personal thing with that because um, there was this. I'm not going to call out the college's name, but there was this one NAIA school that had offered me a scholarship, and I went there, to accept it and all. And they called me in and literally said, "Can you add two plus two?"
I
Now,
remember you telling me that.
yeah, and then it was like, "Well, can you spell?" And I'm saying to myself, "Did you not see my academic record? That should be the last thing you should be asking me." But
Yeah.
it was so insulting that I went to the gym, met a great group of guys, and said, "Y'all have a good season," and I left and went back home. Uh, because coaches, got to also kind of think about some of that type of stuff too. Um,
Hmm.
and Kev, you just caught me in a lie, not about what I just said, that personally, but when I said that was going to be the last question I had for you. I think this is a very, very, very important question, Kev, in going from how do you go from being random to organized?
Well, I think that you reach out to people that have been through the process before, because like I shared with the parents tonight, like the tools that I'm giving you are things that we do by second nature. When I say we, the people in my circle,
Yeah,
um, and what I've learned is what second nature or common knowledge really isn't common knowledge. It's common to the person that has the knowledge.
right,
You know, um, and I think that's the first thing. You know, Mark Veer on the Drop and Dime pod, he was talking today on a little video, and he talked just about that very thing about people reaching out and talking to each other about different processes and strengths and getting things in tune for this, mostly for the city of San Antonio. You know, I'm not. I've met Mark. We're not. We're acquaintances. But
right,
I thought that was a good point in that. You have people that come and go from the city, uh, kind of come and go. And he talked about going through classes after class after class of having players and putting them in school. Um, so I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you were to start a new diet, you're gonna do some research.
right,
Um, if you were gonna change a tire, you could go find somebody to change the tire. You know, uh, we always said, man, I'm gonna put a clown to change out your heart pacemaker, but people put a clown in front front of your recruitment, you know. But but yeah, that's what it looks like, man. It's really just talking,
Yeah.
and you know, a lot of times as parents, um, we feel like we should know, so we don't want to ask, or we don't
Right.
ask because somebody asked us.
Yeah. Or someone says, or they think about if I ask. It's just like when you're in school. If I
Hmm.
there's no stupid question, right?
Hmm.
In that sense, like that. But you don't want it to seem like maybe like you touched on. It should be a common knowledge thing, right?
Hmm.
But you want to ask it, but then you don't want it to seem like the person says, "Yeah, that's so and so, so and so," as if you should have already known that, right?
Right, right.
But yeah, it's just like anything else. I mean, you get ready to go to college, Cat, and you look at maybe some degree you might want to pursue, and you ask some people about it. Maybe some people that you know, hey, what's this like? What's it about? Or whatever. So and maybe they'll say, well, nah, that's probably not for you because, this requires a little bit more this type of science type thing. And I know you don't roll that way. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, it's funny, man. You know, about 15, 16 years ago, my mentor, uh, we were talking, and he said, you know, back when you, meaning me, was coming out of high school, they didn't ask me what my degree plan was. My degree was whatever that school I was going to offered, you know. And so, my how times have changed, you know. You have options, you know, to look. You know, I didn't have options. You know, I one or two places, and that was it. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's a whole new world. You know, but I did. I just hope that parents will ask those questions. You know, and if you're looking for a workshop, you know, and you're going somewhere, I think that the three biggest things you should bring uh, is a link to your film and your school information and what level that you're trying to get to. And I did, man. A caveat was using YouTube to host your uh, game film because Google is the most utilized search engine in the world, and who utilizes Google but YouTube? You know, so it's those kind of little things that aren't necessarily out there on every kind of platform. You know, but we're going to kind of transition to something that I know that you really like to talk about, and that is one Mr. Kingston Flemings. And
Yes, sir. Kev, I got
he's
to tell you, you brought me into this whole thing last year. Went and saw Brennan play, and right there, he's him. It
yeah.
was easy for you and me to see, but there was someone that just couldn't see it till the end of the season. Oh, and my goodness gracious, we got an opportunity to cover the Final Four last
Hmm.
year and see a beloved coach of mine, Coach, we need you at Oklahoma. Go back, go back. Uh, Kevin Sampson, and got a chance to see Houston play in the finals. It was a great game, and I tell you, for Kingston to pick to go there because you got to work if you're going to go play for him. You got to work, and he put that grind in, and it's showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, he look, he's the man, and not just there, but now you go and presto magico, he's probably going to be a top 10 lottery pick. So
Yes.
it's good.
One thing that I think that Kingston talks about in different interviews back whenever he was in high school. Uh, it wasn't. I didn't interview him in high school, but I remember him saying that he didn't feel like he needed to leave to go to prep school. And I think that between him, his family, his inner circle, you know, they did what most people talk about but don't do. They stuck to their plan. They stuck to how they felt was going to be his best avenue, and they've done it with Bella, his younger sister,
Right.
and she'll be taking her talents to Duke, and I think that right there, uh, make a plan, stick to the plan, adjust the plan as needed, but do what you feel is right by your child and that circle. I think because another person that kind of sticks out in that same kind of way is Amari Guerra.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him and his dad, Chubb. They did what they felt was right. And stuck to their guns, stuck to their plans. And you can go and find different people like that. Um, those are just two of the I won't say most prestigious, but most of just like the light pole, um, that had done it, and hey, we talk about we just interviewed Delano Tarpley uh, this week, and his episode will be dropped on the podcast soon. Delano went out to SoCal Academy, and man, they changed his life, man. He come back. I think he told me he's down like 195 at 6'10", 6'11", still changing his body. And but again, did what he felt like. He and Mr. Chad did what they felt like they needed to do right by him. You know,
Yeah.
and I just really applaud parents that do what they feel is right for the success of their child, because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be judged upon, not what your friend said, or what your friend's kid. Um, it's about what you did for your child, your family, and in your situation.
Yeah.
Uh,
And what people have to realize that everybody in your circle may not be good for your circle.
mhm.
You know, you look, you can be my card playing partner, but you can't be the person in trying to tell me what's going to be
Yeah.
the best route for my kid to advance, in life. So just be careful and cautious who's trying to be in your ear.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And I think that with what Brennan has done uh, over years, but most importantly, what they've done within the last year or so, uh, I would say there's higher expectations, but more so higher opportunities that are coming within the city. Because when I say that, you start looking at there's a lot of different schools that universities, colleges that are now coming um, through a city, um, passing out different offers. Um, and so I think that's a big shift in the right direction that may not have been there a few years ago.
yeah. But you just brought up Brennan and and how they've done and the shift and all. But you know, Kev, uh, I think we can put a lot of that at the really, really fine coach that they have there,
Hmm.
Cody Calgill. So
Yeah.
that's, you know, that's something to look at, you know, because everybody's not going to have that good structure uh, someplace where they go or necessarily get some good information or someone to know the best way to get the best out of them. And
Hmm.
we've seen it to where he's really good at doing that.
But I think that while we do um, praise Brennan, I do think that um, we can go to different pockets of the city. You know, um, you got a Judson, you got a Steele, you got
Veterans Memorial.
as a Memorial, man. Like when you think about it, they kind of came out of nowhere
Yeah.
because they weren't on anybody.
Well, no, they were, Kev. You talked about them last year. You know,
We
we
did,
love that guard play. You know.
we did. I think AJ Dennis coming in, moving in, his athleticism. Remember, he's a sophomore. Um, I think that kind of gave them a different look, um, almost to the same capacity as Justin McKinney does at Steel. That's a couple of Mustangs that can go with some unbridled passion. You know, and,
But you like that though, Kev.
no, I did. I did, and I think you drive up a little further, and you got Lake Travis and Westlake. St. Michael's. Um, there's a lot of quality talent in this 35 corridor. Um, 'Cause St. Marcus has had their share. New Braunfels.
Right.
Well, the young man that transferred in from Washington, his name Malachi. Um, he just picked up an offer from a school out in Washington. We got or I got a chance to speak with he and his family after that Alamo Heights game. Um, that was pretty interesting situation there. And we're just kind of spitballing here, but yeah, man, yeah. Um, we're talking, and just going to go ahead and let people kind of know that we may be shifting nights. We haven't decided. Um, we're going to shift the nights to where we get to see the most amount of basketball. Um, and with the turnover from the district going through the second time through, um, we may make some shifting uh, with that, and that'll make for a tighter schedule, make the content a little bit tighter because we won't be able to get off sidetrack um, like we do. But so if you're a regular with us, you're probably already subscribed. But make sure to take the opportunity to look down and hit that like and subscribe on YouTube so you can help us grow. We really enjoy doing this for the city, and I want to. We're going to move into our last segment right here, and I think that this is a point in the season that can go right or left for some guys and girls, and we're in that second portion of the district. Coach has already got his 6, 7 man rotation, 7 lady rotation, um, and people just got to understand to whatever role that your coach gives you to be a star in that role. I watched Kai Guess. Remember Kai went up to a school out in Glendive, Montana, Dawson, and man, he is a dude out there, and that's one uh, young man, the Guest family decided it would be good to send him uh, out on his own, so to speak, to a great program, a great development program, and man, he's really taken over Dawson by storm. And that was kind of what I was talking with some of the guys over the different schools, because that's kind of been what's happening. Is uh, the work that you thought you put in wasn't the amount of work that you needed to put in,
Mm-hmm.
and so now you just got to make the best of that situation. You know, uh, and I do feel like this will be the last game on the horizon for some people, and that's okay. Just make sure you go out uh, with putting the name, putting the effort, the name that you want out there. Um, and I think that one of the things, man, I know you never had an issue with this about being nerves, but
No.
as the season winds down, I think we're gonna find some people that might find the moment a little bit too big. So, what's some things that you could suggest to to help out?
You know, well, Kev, I was always confident. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so don't doubt yourself.
Hmm.
You know, and try to excel at what you're best at. Look, part of the thing of getting your confidence, building your confidence, being confident is if you want a shooter, then don't be out there shooting the ball all up. That's
Yeah.
that's not going to make you more confident. But guess what? If you're a shot blocker or a rebounder and you're putting that in there and doing it, you you're the man right then. So, you know, just one of the things is believing in yourself. Uh, that's probably the thing. Just taking a deep breath and believing in yourself. And when Kev is talking about you going out and doing, um, just doing the best at what you can right then. Basketball was never my favorite sport to play. Uh, I always fancied myself as the best wide receiver there is, right? And so, um, but you look down the road. I've gone back. I was just back home at my hometown and went to a veteran Veterans Memorial Day program, and
Hmm.
there was this girl who happened to be several years younger than me. Of course, she's gone now, but she was like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. Oh, you were the best basketball player, or whatever, right? That was her thing. So people will remember you. A guy I knew his brothers, but I didn't know him. I played basketball against his brother. I walked into an unfamiliar home with me, and he walked out of the back room and he said, "There's Mr. Basketball,"
Hmm.
right? And so you never know what people that you don't really know are looking, are actually, perceiving of you at that moment. And to have people say that years down the line, who would have been, you know what I mean, younger, that I wouldn't have known or paid any attention. So what you do now, it can either come back to be that good thing or that haunting thing for you to hear. So do the best that you can. Put it out there because you just never know when someone may let you know what they thought or saw of you.
And we're gonna end this show a little bit differently, man, because I think that I want to try something out, and we're gonna issue a challenge for players and parents before their next game. And I want players to pick, whether it be sprint back in transition, box out, loose balls, talk through a rotation, a screen that frees a teammate, an extra pass, but pick out three winning plays during the game. And then after the game, I want the parent to ask, tell me about your winning plays. I don't want the conversation to be about points. I don't want to be the conversation that the coach say you play well. I want the conversation to be, can you name me three winning plays? And let's focus on winning this week.
Kev, you know what you just did? You just kind of hit the plays that don't necessarily show up in the highlight reel.
Oh, those invisible stats.
The winning plays.
The winning plays. All right, folks. So that's Wednesday.
Oh, Kev, you had this one thing though
Oh,
that I think is such a great thing. Oh my goodness gracious! If I could just think about it, it was something that you had mentioned about something, and then the trust being the other thing, right? Being talent or trust or something.
hmm
Trust. Oh God, I wish I could think of what it was because whatever you said, and I think it had something to be about talent and
hmm
then about trust.
well,
Um,
I think that talent is always going to be there, but coaches don't necessarily trust talent. They trust the habits that go along with the talent.
yeah,
Because you can be as talented as all outdoors and not have the habits. And
yeah,
I don't know if that was what it was because we've been talking about habits building trust lately. You and I have.
yeah, yeah. Because it dealt. Oh golly! Hopefully, I'll think about it because what I thought about, what it made me think about, and think about um, trust and the talent was when LeBron James, his consecutive games for scoring at least 10 points ended, right? Terrible shooting night. But the last shot of the game, he's deep in the paint. But what did he do? Instead of shooting the ball up, he trusted somebody else and he made the right play
Mm,
and kicked it off in the corner and a deep shot from the corner. Bang, Lakers win. But LeBron doesn't a make the shot, miss the shot, or get fouled or whatever, make him miss free throws. But it was about making the right play, trusting that person, you know, to make the right play versus I guess a selfish type of thing. Yeah.
yeah. Well, if you watch this far, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the website for schedules and resources. And come back again. Be Phil Townsend.
People, I'm telling you, get the information while you can from Kevin Howell, the one-eyed scout. You really need to pay attention to what he's talking about because I'm telling you, he's got some people's ear, he's hearing information, and he's giving it to you for free. Listen to what he's saying. That's all I'm saying.